Welcome into ProBox TV studios. I am Chris Algieri. I am joined by the CEO and boss of ProBox TV, Garry Jonas, in studio with me here today, our beautiful studio here. And on the road, I'm joined by Robert Garcia and Paulie Malignaggi. Boss, ProBox TV, we hit the news last week. There was some news swirling, some virality going around, which is normally a good thing, but it wasn't necessarily the best messaging. Where were you when the news hit about what was going on with ProBox TV and our future?
You know, we had an event this weekend in Dallas, Texas, and I was actually sitting with Paulie when and some others when this news came in. My phone started to blow up, and when I looked at it, I was like, "Huh." And I kind of put it down in front of Paulie and said, "What is this?" So, you know, it's ironic how we heard about it, but basically, Paulie went on Paulie TV. And he said some things that I think were not the best way of saying it. He meant well. Paulie always means well. He's a well-intending guy. And but sometimes, you know, Paulie will shoot first and aim second. And I think when he spoke about this, he didn't choose his words the best way he could. And media, as media does, took advantage of it and spun it a little bit another way. So, that's basically what happened.
Okay, so in terms of what was said, you know, there was some mentions of budget cuts. There was mentions of the life of ProBox TV. What is the messaging that you intended with the information that you had given Paulie prior to hitting the web?
Yeah, I think the best way to explain it is that I actually had a meeting with Paulie when he got back from his bare knuckle fight to brief him on some of the changes we were making. So that whole message from Paulie comes from a meeting with me. So this is what I had told Paulie. I said, Paulie, we're going to discontinue the talk shows. The fans have spoken. The numbers are obvious. Talk shows are doing 5,000 to 10,000. For all the effort, all the payroll, all the staffing, all the energy we spend, it's just not worth it compared to the fans are watching. We're getting hundreds of thousands to our live events. So I want to give them more in terms of live events and less in terms of the talk shows. So that obviously impacts Paulie, right? He was here on a full-time Monday through Friday. He doesn't have to be here full-time Monday through Friday. So that was the part of the conversation. And to Paulie, it felt like a budget cut, and I could understand that. But the reality from my pocket, no, I'm spending more in the ensuing months, not less. Lester Martinez and Naji Lopez will tell you they're receiving more. The fighters are receiving more, not less. So it was just, unfortunately, the team associated to the talk show was feeling like it was a budget cut, but nah, it's a budget reallocation is probably the best way for Paulie to have described it.
And what about the thought that ProBox TV's timeline could be shorter than expected?
Yes. Again, Paulie coming from a very, very good place. Paulie bleeds ProBox TV. He's been with me since day one.
Literally.
He's known the whole journey. He's all in. He bleeds it. And when I was talking to Paulie, I kind of said to him, I said, well, you know what? It's time to go with our membership. But we knew we were going to do this. We actually were membership day one.
Which the fans have been asking for. How do we pay for this thing?
Precisely. Even the fans have said, look, when you're ready, go. But we opened it up and kept it free because we wanted everyone to see the product. We wanted everyone to trust the product, be familiar with the product. If the product sat behind a paywall as a non-championship boxing product, we might not have ever got the viewership that we got. So we kept it for free for an introductory period. That introductory period has been 4 years now. It's like we're past introductory and it's time to do it. But why was it time to do it? Because we signed a bunch of young studs in the first 2 years. They're all grown up now. And we've got a hell of a roster, but we got to pay these guys. It's not okay to say, hey, guys, you want to keep fighting here for less money? I wouldn't do that to them. So either they go or we up it. So in concert with paying them more money, which means we're giving bigger fights and bigger cards, we're elevating the quality of our card. We might have been spending $200 at the beginning, $300 last year. It's going to go to $400 and $500 this year. So now we're at a level where we're saying to the fans, okay, we're going to give you a higher level of quality. We need to charge you for it. We want to do a membership. We think it's fair. The price is going to be nominal. So as Paulie and I are talking about this, right? So Paulie's like, so like, where do we need to like be good? I said, oh, Paulie, 500,000 members. We're in championship boxing, full on. I go, 100,000 plus? Oh, the contender series is alive and well for years to come. I go, but, and I always kind of give Paulie the dark side, right? It's my job. I got to.
It's not just Paul you give the dark side. You tend to give the dark side as well.
Okay, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah,
that's a businessman. That's what businessmen do. So we have to see the dark side. We can't be in denial about it. It helps us make better decisions. And so I said, well, you know, he goes, what's a bad result? I said, 25,000 is a bad result. He goes, what happens if it's 25,000? I said, I take my ball and I go home. Which Paulie kind of got like that big eyes and said, okay, so we need to make sure this thing goes. So Paulie took it upon himself with that sense of urgency. But folks at home, it's natural. Any business will tell you if it's not, you know, it's a restaurant and it's not full, or it's only got 5 people in it, it's going to close its doors soon, right? So it's what I said was a natural occurrence for any company. It would be the same for any business in boxing. Either it's working or it's not. If it's not, you go. If it's working, you stay. So I laid it out to Paulie. The way Paulie chose his words might have been a bit more alarming or ominous, and certainly it gave room for certain media and haters to grab onto it and make a meal out of it.
Paulie, what did you think about when this news, quote unquote, broke, and it was like, oh wait, I thought I was helping out here, but what's your take?
Well, I'll tell you what, I thought back to myself and think probably with certain run-ins I've had with the media and with general opinions in boxing, I probably should have learned my lesson in the past, because I've done certain explanations on controversial topics in the past or controversial opinions in the past, and it's always been spun in a way that, you know, becomes a lightning rod, becomes clickbait, but is also never the full story, or never, sometimes not even true altogether, you know? So I thought back to all the times this has happened before, where things have been spun on me, and I was like, man, I really got to stop trusting, you know, the general public and the boxing media in general from just interpreting my words a certain way. You know, then obviously Garry and I spoke, and he said, and, you know, he reminded me that, you know, there was a way he wanted to announce this, and this is why you announce things in a certain proper way. I was kind of frustrated at myself because, like I said, I mean, I've experienced this in the past where, you know, I will give an opinion, I'll give a certain take on something controversial or something that is a lightning rod subject, and it's never really delivered. It's never really taken the way I meant it for it to be taken. It's always done in a way where it gets clickbaity, I guess that's the word I'm looking for, where people just look to apply it in any way possible. And people, of course, gravitate to negativity and not gravitate to controversy. So the controversy here in this case would have been, oh my goodness, ProBox TV is going away. And of course, from one side, I took it like, wow, ProBox, the product of ProBox a few years ago, if I would have said this, nobody would have really even batted an eyelash. It really wasn't popular enough. It's become so popular that me saying something like this generated entire waves throughout the World Wide Web. So from one thing, I was like, wow, I was like, we're really come a long way at ProBox. But from the other side, I was kind of sad because I was like, this wasn't really the way I wanted people to take it, you know? And I feel like some people would have taken it the right way, but the people that were making the headlines would have taken it in a way where they wanted to clickbait, and they would have just, they don't care how people are going to take it. They just want people to take it in a way where they're going to click. And so from that perspective, I was like, because I felt like, you know, Garry explained it well. You know, it is a reallocation. I didn't use the word reallocate, but I did say we're going to give a better product of fight, you know, and obviously a better product of fight is going to cost more money. So yeah, that does involve a reallocation, even though I didn't use the word reallocation. And so I was trying to get really off the block as quickly as possible, so that people could start to get their mindset into supporting us as quickly as possible. And again, my intention was sort of restructured in a way where it became clickbaity more so than it was more so than what the actual message was about.
Yeah, Paul, you brought up a really good point in terms of the backlash or the reaction to the actual post. And, you know, 4 years ago, wouldn't it be the same like it is today? Robert, let me kick this to you. What was your take on the response on what ProBox is? You know, Paulie's been here since day one. I was about a year in before I became involved. You came in a little later after that. What is your view from your position coming into ProBox and with this news breaking last week?
Look, when I got that news, it was guys from my gym sending me the post that the Paulie shared with the world, because I have quite a few fighters that are fighting for ProBox, so everybody was a little concerned. But I wasn't because I had already had a conversation with Garry, about the future plans and stuff like that. So I know ProBox is strong enough to continue, and the fights that ProBox is putting together, and the shows that we've been doing the last few months are crazy, insane, great fights, and not just last couple months, last couple of years. All shows are great, 50-50 fights. I think that's pushing the boxing fans, the boxing world to tune in, to tell everybody else, you guys got to check, you guys got to tune in. What I think, slowly, little by little, like Lester Martinez is the perfect example, started and built himself to become a superstar, become a national hero in his country. So we need to bring those young fighters to that level, and it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be great. Gary's saying, 100, 500. I think it could easily hit that, the top numbers, 500, even more, when we get those fighters like Lester, who is loved in his country and has a huge following. We need more of those. And where do we bring them? We start building them slowly, little by little. You guys have mentioned, all these guys that started with ProBox and became the big names, that came to the big fights, to the championship fights, to 10-round fights, main events, and all that. Well, we need to get another group of young fighters that are going to be in that direction. I think the way the plan is, I don't see it failing. I think it's going to be a great future for young fighters, young stars, that are going to get paid well, that are going to get recognized well throughout the boxing world. I think this is going to be part of the future of boxing.
Robert, I had the exact same response as you did. I'm not very good on the Twitters and the X's. I don't live there, so I didn't even get wind of this. You were trying to signal me during the fight, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But when I did hear about it, I'm like, well, from what you've been telling all of us recently, there's nothing to worry about, because, like you said, Champ, these fights that are coming out in the next couple months are top notch, top flight. So I wasn't worried. I'm just like you, Robert. I wasn't worried. Paulie got a little worried, but
well, look, I'll add this to you guys, and for the fans at home to hear this. I'm not doing it for no reason. If I really thought this wasn't going to work, I'd have taken my ball and gone home a while ago. 1 million people live tuned in to watch Lester Martinez. It wasn't a small number, and
a strong gate too that night.
No, it was packed. I mean, I chickened out.
You went smaller.
I didn't. Instead of going for an arena, I went for something that'll hold 4,000, because and we probably would have filled an arena, but it was packed to the gills. So, yeah, I mean, the numbers are pretty significant in terms of what we've been doing, and I wouldn't be stepping out onto this situation where we're going to now pull the trigger if I wasn't confident. I'm going to tell you why I'm confident, Paulie and Rob. Numbers have been, from January through April, the numbers were 2 million unique viewers on our YouTube channel alone. Now, let me get you straight. That's not our YouTube Spanish channel. That's not what we see on Fubo. That's not what we see on Amazon. Most fans don't realize we're in numerous places. They only know the one place they watch us, but we've been in numerous places. So what I'm about to tell you does not represent the full scope of our numbers. I'm just talking about YouTube English only. 2 million unique viewers. Of the 2 million unique viewers, Paulie, 730,000 had been to us numerous times before. They are regular fans. People don't subscribe anymore on YouTube if people don't know that. You have to just look at how often they engage. That's your fan. So 730,000, that's a big number. We'll be charging $5 a month. Price of a cup of coffee, maybe a good cup of coffee, but the price of a cup of coffee.
Well, not these days.
Not these days. So we believe that it's right priced. We believe that it's in a position where the fans that have been coming back and forth to us, 730,000, and there's more that are not in that pile. We believe we got a very good chance at 500, because they pay for boxing. They are subscribers at DAZN, right? They are have been paying traditionally. Maybe they steal it when it's $90, but for $5, they're not going to bother stealing it. So we feel pretty bullish when you look at the numbers. And you know, it's funny because Paulie, one of the guys was frustrated when this came out. He felt like, oh, we had a whole plan to announce this. Now Paulie opened his big mouth. Now he blew it. He jumped the gun on us. I said, no, look at the bright side. I said, nobody heard it. He goes, what are you talking about? This no-name site or account at Twitter, it's got 68,000 views in just a couple of hours. I was like, really? So it's going? He goes, it's everywhere. I said, oh, to quote Jim Carrey, I'm going to steal it from you, Paulie. To quote Jim Carrey, so you're saying there's a chance, right? Meaning, that means a lot of people are talking about ProBox TV. A lot of people care. Go to Reddit. There were 68 comments. Almost every one of them was, I'll buy, I'll join, I'll buy, I'll join. So, you know, Paulie felt bad about this, people at home. He didn't, you know, he knew that he jumped the gun and he might not have explained it perfectly. Paulie, the moment you say budget cuts and you say maybe we'll be out of business, that's all people heard. The beginning, you said budget cut instead of budget reallocation, and they heard the end when you said we may be out of business, and they ran with it. I know what you intended to do. So I think that we have a lot of reason to be very optimistic about what's going to happen. Paulie, you mentioned you might blow up something, so I'll get in front of you on it. August 29th, when we say we're spending more, not less, Lester Martinez against Luca Plantic, August 29th, the Galen Center in downtown LA at the University of Southern Cal Arena. Co-main event, Najee Lopez, Juan Carrillo, a couple top 10 guys going at it. And it's a stack card underneath that. My feelings were hurt. What happened March 21st when we had such a bad undercard? Folks at home, that's not normal for us. It happens once in a while. It happened at the worst time. And I wanted to come back with a vengeance. That August 29th card is stacked through and through. And that'll be the event that we launch the membership site. So there'll be more coming your way, folks. We're going to explain more. But I just wanted to make sure you all understood that for now.
Well, you guys heard it here first. ProBox TV ain't going anywhere soon. The experiment worked. We're going live. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We have some great fights coming up. You don't want to miss it. You know where to catch us. ProBox TV on YouTube, your boxing channel.